today we are starting a 2-part series all about creating sustainable rhythms. The secret to making your nonprofit marketing feel easier, more sustainable, and more effective. If you've ever felt overwhelmed trying to keep up with newsletters, social media, outreach efforts, then you are absolutely not alone. But here is the good news: you don't have to reinvent the wheel every week. Instead, you can actually start creating rhythms in your content strategy, in your marketing strategy that can help you keep consistent, build audience trust, and increase your nonprofit's visibility without the burnout. So let's get started. First things first, what do I mean by rhythms? Think of it like this. In music, rhythms create structure. They keep things flowing and make a song work. And the same goes for your nonprofit marketing. When you set up consistent patterns, whether it's posting on certain days or recycling certain content types or using recurring themes, you take the guesswork out of showing up online. When people see your nonprofit showing up regularly on social media and in other digital marketing channels, they start to expect it and engage with it and even look forward to your content. It becomes part of their routine, just like watching their favorite TV show. And in a world of shrinking attention spans, consistency really does build credibility. If your audience knows what to expect from you, they are way more likely to stay connected and take action when you ask. So let's have a look at how to do this practically. Let's talk about 5 practical rhythms to include in your nonprofit's marketing schedule. The first one, and it's going to make all the difference, is to pick your content pillars or the core topics that you talk about regularly. And I know I keep beating the same drum, but consistency is just so important. So instead of scrambling for new ideas every single week and posting sporadic concepts all over the show, choose 3 to 5 core topics that you talk about on a regular basis. This could be things like sharing regular impact or transformation stories, or giving people a sneak peek behind the scenes of your operations and your work in action. It could be educational content that teaches your supporters and your audience about what you do, why it's beneficial, and how it's making an impact. Or perhaps a regular feature of some of your volunteers, your donors, some of the key people on your team that make your work possible. Once you have these core pillars in place, you can rotate between them so easily. And this makes planning so much easier. It takes out the overwhelm that you might be feeling when you face a blank calendar and go, what am I going to share? What am I going to post about? What am I going to include in my newsletter? Having these core topics that you can easily pull from means that you don't have to try and figure that out every single time. The second practical rhythm that I know so many nonprofits find helpful is assigning themes or those core topics to certain days. This is especially relevant for your social media content. So what do I mean by that? Take one of your core pillars and assign them to a specific day in the week that you will talk about that particular topic. Then what I suggest you do is, instead of planning out all your content, create 4 or 5 different posts for that specific core pillar. This helps you to just whack out that content all in one go and to make sure that the information that you're covering in those particular posts around that core pillar build upon each other. This is a similar concept to Monday motivation or Tuesday tips or Thursday throwbacks that were really popular in 2012, 2015. Now, you don't necessarily have to adopt it that rigidly, but just knowing that, okay, every month you're going to share 3 educational posts can really help you structure that content and plan ahead. And to make sure that when you're looking at your calendar, you at least have 3 of those kind of post types throughout the month. It just makes your content planning so much simpler. The third rhythm that can be so impactful for your nonprofit is to repurpose, not reinvent. You'll hear me talk a lot about repurposing content on this podcast. And it makes so much sense for nonprofit teams, marketing teams especially, that don't have a lot of time. You're working with limited content and you're making the most of what you have. Repurposing your content could look like taking your newsletters and turning them into social media posts, taking your annual report stats and sharing them as tangible, real-life stories on your social media. You could shorten some of your blog posts into social media posts. The point is, you don't have to create something new every single day. Just find creative ways to use what you've already created. The fourth rhythm that I want you to establish is creating content in advance and using the most amazing tools that we have to schedule this content out. This could be your email newsletters. It could apply to your social media. What I don't want you to be doing is creating things on the day and sharing them, but rather thinking of how you can plan and create content in advance to then schedule and share at a later stage. I want you to step off that daily content creation hamster wheel and batch your time, batch those tasks together, get them done, and then move on to the next thing. One of the tools that I've found most valuable for nonprofits is a social media scheduler. This ensures that even if your marketing team perhaps is sick or you've got other things that have cropped up that you need to focus on, you've still got that consistent social media content going out. And what's great is that it's all already scheduled and ready to go. I love to use Loomly for managing my social media content and for any of my clients. But there are free tools like Meta that you can use to schedule out your content. It's just so worth it to establish this rhythm in your marketing department. And it's going to ensure that you are being consistently strategic with what content you are putting out there. Don't post in the moment. Start preparing your content ahead of time. And what I like to remind so many of my nonprofits is that really most of the time, no one else knows that the content you're sharing is perhaps a week old, a day old. Unless it's a time-sensitive event, it is okay to share it in a day or two, even a week. No one is going to know except you and your team. So take off that pressure to be posting in the moment and start planning out your content. The fifth rhythm that I'd really recommend is to establish recap or review meetings. This is the time you take to review all your marketing over the past couple weeks, over the past month, analyze what worked, what didn't work, and see how you can improve for the next month. Take this time to also look at your marketing priorities and see where you perhaps need assistance, where you need to plan ahead, and where you can start preparing content now. Oftentimes, it can be just go, 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 go. But if we don't take a moment to step back and truly evaluate what we are putting out there, and if it's being effective, we aren't able to improve upon what we are doing. And ensure that our marketing is actually effective, that it is actually reaching the right people, speaking the right message, and helping our donors connect with us even more. These rhythms will help you and your team to be so much more effective in your marketing and not feel that constant pressure that sometimes can be associated with producing content and managing all the different marketing pieces. I hope you found these tips helpful and that they will help you establish sustainable marketing rhythms in your marketing department for your nonprofit. Let me know which of these rhythms has been the most valuable for you in the comments, or leave me a review wherever you are listening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, keep inspired, keep doing such incredible work, and I will see you in the next episode.